Alright, so this demonstration is to show how to do the stuffed animal sample. So you should have 2 pieces of 5 by 5 inch squares cut out of fleece. Make sure it's fleece material, okay? So you're going to put those 2 pieces together, and then you're going to draw a shape on the pieces. The shape needs to have at least 1 curve, 1 straight line, and 1 point, okay? I like to do a heart because it's easier for me to do that. You can draw the shape using whatever you want. Don't use a marker though, because the marker gets everywhere. It's really important that you're able to see the shape. If you can't see the shape that you're doing, get a different utensil, because if it's not going to work, then and you can't see the shape, then you won't be able to do a good job on it. And it's the same thing with when you're doing the real stuffed animal, is you have to be able to see the shape. You want to try to make the shape as large as possible while still leaving a little bit on the edge. So I'm just going to make a heart, because that's the one I like to do, but you could do like an ice cream cone, or you could do another piece. It's important that your shape actually looks like what it's supposed to be, so you can know if you did it correctly or not. So you're just going to draw your piece here, okay? So I'm doing my heart. I can clearly see it. If you can't clearly see it, you need to get a different utensil. Okay, after that, I'm going to take about 2 pins. I'm going to put them inside my shape like this. So the 2 pins are inside, and then it says I need to sew over trace lines. Okay, you're not going to cut at this step. A lot of people, like traditionally, they think, oh, you draw the shape, you cut it out. No, you're going to sew all around your lines. Do not leave a space to turn it right side out. We'll get to that step later. Everybody wants to do it the traditional way. This is a different method I'm teaching you, because for beginners, the shape of whatever you're doing comes out a lot better. Okay, so you're going to take your piece, figure out where you're going to start, and then you want to line up your line in between those 2 claws of the presser foot. So if you'll zoom in right there and make sure you show them that you want your line to be in between the 2 claws of the presser foot. You got to put your presser foot down. It's important you put your presser foot down. Don't forget to do that. So then you're going to push on your foot pedal. You're going to go forward a little bit. You're going to hold your reverse lever. You're going to go back a little bit, and then you just keep going. When you get close to a pin, you can stop and take it out if it's in the way. You don't want to try to sew over it. And you'll just sew right on top of your line. And when you get to the point where you're at, you're going to do something called a pivot. So you're going to stop and you're going to turn the hand wheel and turn it down inside the fabric right here. Then you're going to lift up the presser foot and turn it and realign your piece so that your line is right in between the claws of your presser foot, and put that presser foot down. So to do the pivot, needle down, presser foot up, turn, then you put the presser foot back down and you continue to sew. And you just sew right on top of your lines. When you get to a curve, you might have to go slow. Okay, it's important that this looks good. If it doesn't look good, I'm gonna make you do it again. Okay, do not move forward unless your piece looks like it's supposed to, drawing right on your lines, okay? Because when you do the real stuffed animal, if you can't keep it aligned on your lines, then your real stuffed animal is not going to look like it's supposed to, and you're going to waste all of your good fabric. Okay, I'm at a point again, so what do I need to do? I need to turn the hand wheel. I need to put it down inside the fabric, the needle, lift the presser foot up. I need to turn it and realign it so that the line is in between the claws of the presser foot. I need to put the presser foot back down, and then I need to continue to sew. Okay, so then you just keep following your curves, following your lines. You get back to where you started, and you have to backstitch again. Always backstitch at the beginning and the ends, otherwise you'll get holes. Okay, so now that I'm done, I'm going to take this out. I'm going to get my scissors, and it's going to tell you to cut out about 1/4 of an inch away from the stitches. You don't need to measure that. You can eyeball 1/4 of an inch, but do not cut it too close, because if you cut it too close, then you'll get hole. So you can see right here, I can take that pin out now. You can see that I sewed right on my lines. It's not a perfect heart, but I didn't draw it perfectly, but it's on my lines. So at this step, I want you to check it with the teacher. I want you to show them it should be on the lines. If it's not on the lines, you need to do it again until it's on the lines, okay? So now I'm gonna cut it out. So I just cut it out about 1/4 of an inch away. Be careful not to cut through your stitches. If you cut through your stitches, you're gonna have to do it again. So make sure you check it with the teacher before moving on past this step that you sewed on the lines. Now, it says cut a small slit through 1 layer of fabric only. So there's 2 layers of fabric, so I'm gonna separate them. I'm gonna cut this slit right here. Don't cut it too big. Okay, right there is good. This is a good size slit. And I'm going to turn it right side out. So this is the reason why I don't want you to leave a space, because when you turn it right side out, if you leave a space, usually the shape doesn't look as good and the kids can't sew it exactly in the same spot. This way, it looks exactly like the lines that I drew because all of my stitches are in one connection. So now you're just going to cut up the little pieces that you have left over, and you're just going to stuff your stuffed animal using those little pieces. On your real one, you'll use stuffing. You have to use stuffing. But on the sample, you can just cut it into scraps like this, okay? Okay, so then I'm going to take all my scraps. I'm going to stuff it inside. And then I'm going to get my piece for the patch to do the hand sewing, okay? So after you stuff the sample with stuffing, you're going to use felt or fleece piece to cover the slit that you made from the hand sewing. So this is felt material. Felt is better to use because it's easier like to make your stitches. So for this, after you get it all stuffed with your stuffing, then you're going to get your felt piece and you're going to cut it in the shape. It needs to be big enough to cover it. So for me, I think I'm just going to make another heart because I like hearts, but you can do whatever you want. Try to make it look good though. For your real one, you want it to look good. You don't want it to look, you know, be weird, like something that somebody wouldn't want. So you want to try to do a shape that kind of fits the animal when you're doing your real one. For the sample, you can kind of do what you want. But for the real one, you want to try to do something that will look good with the animal. Okay, so I'm just going to make a little heart like that. I'm going to cut it out. And then in the next video, I will show you how to do your hand sewing stitches. So you just want to get this ready, and then in the next video, I'll show you how to thread your hand needle and do that. So once you're at this step, you're ready to hand sew. That's it.